everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wellness Day, a podcast coming to you every Wednesday here from the Jahangir Wellness Center. My name is Kavas Jahangir. I'm here speaking from our JWC studio here, a beautiful, beautiful space. Now, this week is a little bit different. We've had many episodes with many experts, all the way from cancer doctors to pediatricians to art therapists to music therapists, and we've talked about all lot of things about wellness. Now, today I've got a very special guest. I've got someone who lives and breathes wellness and someone who I look up to as a wellness guy. I've got Tehseen Poonawalla here. Thank you so much for being here, Tehseen.
Thank you, Kavas. Thank you for having me here.
Now, you're someone who wears many hats. Yeah. You're a political analyst. You're one of the smartest guys I know in law, in politics, and we've had many great conversations.
Yeah.
Especially in talking about fitness and wellness. And you're someone who's been doing this for many years and someone I look up to.
Thank you.
So you're a sort of, what do I call, a passionate practitioner of wellness. So that's actually someone, as I keep saying, I look up to. So I'm so happy that you're here to be able to talk to us about wellness and all things wellness. So let me just go straight in and ask you, what does wellness mean to you?
First of all, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy to be here at the center. And I want the viewers to know that when this was being constructed, I came in. I was so excited that Kavas was doing this. And we spoke passionately about the Jahangir Wellness Center. So I think wellness to me means a good quality of life, period. Ultimately, a lot of people think a good quality of life is materialistic.
Yeah.
What is materialistic? You may have all the money in the world, but if you're caught on an island with no escape route, what is that money or what is the luxury? Wellness is peace of mind, is comfort. For me, that's the two words that define it.
So it starts in the mind for you.
It is all about the mind. It is about the mind. And for me, I differentiate between the mind and the brain. The brain gives birth to the mind, yes, but the mind is completely different.
Yeah.
And for me, I think my mind is our minds are connected to the larger universe, the consciousness. And what you take in from the universe, which I believe is conscious, is how you then sort of perceive your life and you live your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get into being so aware about your wellness? Because you do so many different things. I've seen you on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen you talking about politics. I know you're into law. So you've got, so many things on your plate.
Yeah.
What made you focus on this aspect, or rather, the fundamental aspect of wellness, and then everything falls under that? What gave you that conscious effort to start looking at it through those lenses?
One, to live a better quality life, as I started with. So what makes a better quality life? When I went down that path to find what is a better quality life, obviously the step was wellness.
Yeah.
Then what is wellness? How do you define wellness? One is the physical wellness, the good health, your heart is in great shape, your lungs are in great shape, your kidney, etc. Second is very important, your mental and spiritual wellness. Where does that go? How do you take it forward? And then the last thing is, you're here in this 4-dimensional world that we live in for a limited period of time.
Yeah.
What happens beyond that? What is the legacy that you leave behind? And to leave that legacy behind, what is the framework that you need to be in consciously? I think that is what were the questions I was trying to search for.
Right.
And the answers led me to the things that I do now.
But was there a moment in your life that changed, that created that transformation, or was it just something that naturally happened to you?
Naturally.
Okay.
Growth. But the first moment was my dad passing away.
Right.
I was 13.
Okay, that's pretty young. So
Very young.
Yeah.
And I was very close to my dad.
Okay.
So to me, that was a shock.
Okay.
And then I didn't want to cry and make my mom weak. So I was trying to be, in simple language, the man of the house.
Yeah.
From that to understanding to the emotional trauma you went through and how you deal with it.
Yeah.
So I think that awakening came at 13 or 14.
Right.
Obviously, life changes when your father passes away. Everybody who knows you now looks at you differently.
Especially so young.
Yeah, especially you're so young. And I was a teenager. I was very close to my father.
Okay.
I suddenly lost that man figure that I had in my life.
Right.
Or that friend
Father
figure,
figure.
the father figure, the man figure, someone I could come home and talk to about, even girls or friends, or even do I want to smoke?
Yeah.
So I lost that figure. And then I wanted to be the father figure to my brother.
Okay.
So that transformation.
So you're the older brother.
I'm the older brother.
Okay.
Shahzad's younger.
Yeah.
So that transformation, and that led me to that path. So it's been a journey that's where I've evolved. Yeah.
And it's a journey that never stops.
It can never stop.
Absolutely.
The one, like time, it can never stop.
Absolutely.
It'll always flow ahead.
Yeah. But coming to the physical side, because you talked about that, from the day I've met you, you've always been an extremely fit guy. So let's quickly, what is it that you do to stay physically fit?
So physically fit, again, first 1 meal a day. I eat 1 meal a day.
Just 1 meal a day?
1 meal a day within a 2-hour period. Window, period.
Right.
I try and avoid carbohydrates, the bad carbohydrates, like bread, the processed food.
Yeah.
I do zero sugar. That's
Zero sugar.
zero sugar.
Wow.
No Diet Cokes.
How do you manage that? Do you have a sweet tooth?
I had.
Oh my.
So I started doing that because of Sachin Nanda. So we have a friend called Sachin.
Right.
Common friend. So because of that, no Diet Cokes, no just sparkling water.
Okay.
And I work out no matter what.
Uh-huh.
I will work out. Whether it's early morning, whether it's late night, 12:31. Wow. Again, I'm privileged that I have a gym at home.
Okay.
So that works.
Yeah.
But I work out.
But you still have to get the work done.
You still have to get to work.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens, work out, one meal a day, no sugar, less processed food.
Okay.
And meats, lentils, vegetables, fruits.
Right.
In that 2 hours.
How did you create this system for yourself? Did you go to someone and got this advice, or is it sort of something that you've built on yourself as you've gone along, or how did you come to this kind of program, for a lack of a better word?
So it happened actually through religion, and that's a paradox because I'm an atheist, but I do believe I'm spiritual.
Right.
So I do fast, I do Ramzan, I do Navratra, I do Shivratri.
Oh, you do everything.
And I realized that all of these fasts have a scientific base.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
The religion was a way of promoting science.
Right.
And then I realized that when I was fasting and I was just doing that one meal, I was controlling, my willpower was much better.
Okay.
My stamina was much better. I was less aggressive. I slept better and I was more at peace. At the same time, I was more filled. So obviously I didn't go straight away to one meal a day.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Please come to Jahangir, consult your dietitian at the wellness center, and didn't do it. But it was so obviously I reduced it to first 6 hours window, then to a 4-hour window, and now I'm at a 2-hour, 1-hour window where I do that one meal.
Okay.
And now I push it further. It's like I will go for a month without being vegan, a month without being vegetarian, a month without meat. So I also push that. So Navratras, I don't do meat for 9 days, 9 days. So you also push that further.
Have you found any changes in your body or on your sort of lifestyle when you do that? Like, for example, if you cut out non-veg for 1 month, have you felt a change in your energy?
Yeah, completely. Energy, of course.
Yeah.
Your energy shoots up to another level when
Really?
you eat non-veg.
Wow.
So
But then the tough part there is protein.
the protein. So I do take whey protein.
Okay, you do.
Again, please consult your dietitian.
Yeah,
Don't.
absolutely.
No,
What we're talking about is what you do and what works for you.
What works for me. So I take whey protein. I take whey protein irrespective. That 25 grams I respect.
Yep, me too.
Protein is the building blocks
your
blocks for your health life. So that I need in any case, the whey protein that I take. But more importantly, that when I didn't do non-veg, I felt more energetic.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But you obviously go back to non-veg because you do want the protein, you do want that taste, you do want that grilled meat.
I don't think I'm strong enough to try and get off it. Or for that matter, get into this one meal a day thing. It just seems so difficult because I feel like I'm hungry all the time.
You do?
Yeah.
But I think that to me was the psychological and
and
emotional.
definitely is.
Yeah. And I think if you can control your willpower, you can control anything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And your basic instinct is food and sex.
Right.
If you can control that,
Yeah.
you can you have control over that. You don't give in to those desires. I think you can master a lot of things. That's something that I believe personally. So I control, and now I don't even feel hungry. But I do have a lot of coffee. I have about 3 to 4 cups of black coffee a day.
Okay.
Which again, I read that coffee is the most researched beverage in the
Absolutely,
world.
yeah.
And it's great for your health. It actually
Fantastic.
cuts down fatty liver.
Yeah.
And the physical parameters.
Yep.
So again, like every year I do my annual
Correct,
test with you guys. My parameters over 5 years ago to today, my parameters are that of a 28.
Absolutely.
And I'm 42.
Fantastic.
My heart's in great shape, my kidneys, my lungs. I do the annual test every year.
Yeah. And
My
that's a
blood work
testament to just lifestyle.
to lifestyle.
Yeah.
Of course, I take a vitamin D tablet.
Okay. Yeah.
Once a week because I'm a vitamin D,
yeah.
which
Which a lot of people
Indians,
are.
most Indians have. And I have an iron deficiency.
Okay.
So I take that. But beyond that, I don't need any of the...
But again, this is because you're so focused on this. You know exactly what you need and what you don't need, and you're tracking this year on year with with your wellness checks and stuff like that.
So I just Jahangir does my wellness
Exactly.
check, and then Maya will explain to me this is how it's required.
the boss.
Maya is the boss. So she tells that this is what's required.
Yep.
And I know that there's a vitamin D in it.
Yeah. And and what's so cool about this, and this is for me as well, because I love wellness myself, you get to learn about your body so much. You get to learn, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And it's like you said, what one meal may work for someone, it may not work for someone, but it works for you. But this entire journey, you learn so much about your body that you can really take control of your wellness just by learning what your body works, or what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body.
Absolutely. Kavas, I'm 42.
Yeah. I definitely don't look beyond 32, for sure.
So thanks for that. But That's the looks part of it.
Yeah.
But even if you leave that,
It's how you
right?
feel.
Yeah, I don't have specs.
Right.
I hear perfect. I don't have white hair. I don't have grays. I don't color my hair. So it's just the lifestyle that I eat once. I sleep well.
Yeah, yeah. Sleep is a huge one.
Sleep is a huge one.
Yeah. How do you manage to get your sleep with the kind of busy lifestyle that you have?
So again, I'm very lucky. I sleep very, very deeply.
Uh-huh.
But apart from my sleep, my meditation works very well for me.
Okay.
So every morning, 3:55, my alarm goes off. 4 o'clock, I get into meditation,
Wow.
sadhana. And then once I'm in my meditation, I focus deeply on my meditation. And to me, that gives me about that 1 hour, 1.5 hours. In my opinion, it's
Sort of
about
an-
6 to 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah, so you're
I
enhancing
go
your
very
sleep.
deep into it.
Okay.
And I fall off asleep while meditating. Then I wake up at 6:37 or whatever. Then I wake up. Time.
So actually coming to that aspect, because we started with the mind and the body and the soul, what are the things that you focus on to keep your stress levels down and to keep that focus on mindfulness for your mental well-being? So we talked about meditation and stuff that obviously you spend a fair amount of time doing and you've seen the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Because you live in a fairly potentially high noise environment. I've seen you on TV and stuff and it can get quite loud.
It does.
So how do you keep that volume down in your head?
One is obviously meditation. So
Right.
that's now helped me control.
Okay.
Second is I live in gratitude. I
Okay,
absolutely live in gratitude. Like before having this coffee, I gave gratitude to the coffee beans. At one time, it had life, and I'm having it. So no matter what I eat, what I do, even if I give money or receive money, I'll do gratitude in my head.
Right.
I live in gratitude for everything.
That's a lovely philosophy to just live by, regardless of where and how and what your means are. It's just
It's
beautiful,
gratitude.
yeah.
So there's a Japanese word for it called arigato. So I just do arigato, but in my head I'm just saying thank you.
Yeah.
I even say thank you to the food, like the rice or the dal, even if it's rice or dal.
Okay.
That at some point in that life, maybe it's some karma that I get to eat it.
Absolutely.
I'm taking that form of life, and I just do gratitude to it. But I live every second in gratitude. And Kavas, what happens with that is,
Right.
I feel your perspective changes. I feel I'm very privileged. Look, I'm here at this wellness center with you, my friend, doing this podcast. I'm privileged.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everything in life is a privilege. I can just call up. Everything in life is so, in a way, easy for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have a right to complain. I feel people who are much lesser than me.
Right.
Sure, I want more. Don't confuse it with not being ambitious.
Of course.
But I'm very happy and content also being where I am.
Absolutely. It's like you're being at peace with yourself.
I'm enjoying this. If I am in this moment doing this podcast with you, I want to give it 100%.
Right, absolutely.
Then if I'm doing something else, I want to give it 100%. And it's not the end of the world. If the podcast is not the best, it's not the end of the world. If the TV appearance is not the best, it's not the end of the world. There is another day. It will come another day, and I will make up for it. So when you're at peace with that, and then you have gratitude for what you have.
Absolutely. And that energy that you talked about is something that radiates to other people. So, for example, I said that you're someone that I look up to. And every time we've had a conversation or we've met, I've genuinely always left Tehseen leaving feeling so energized after we've spoken or met. Just by your presence and what you've talked about, that gratitude is something that just radiates out from you. So it affects other people as well. So it's not just for you, it happens to people around you. And then that can just grow on itself.
Yeah.
Which is such a beautiful philosophy.
So I do believe energy is fluid.
Yeah.
We, of course, live in a 4-dimensional world, the 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. But there are higher dimensions that I believe in. Now, this is a theory. Obviously, this is not scientifically proved, but I believe
That's
in
your
it.
opinion, yeah.
It's my, I believe very firmly.
fair
We
enough.
live in a there are higher dimensions.
Right.
And then, energies match on a frequency. So it's like a radio station. If you want to hear a particular frequency, say 100.2, you got to tune into that.
Yeah.
So energies tune in and get attracted to a particular frequency. And once you raise that level, automatically you get people of that frequency coming to
Matching
you.
you, yeah.
Why is it that people who are always cribbing find people around them that are always negative or
Right,
cribbing?
absolutely.
Why are people who are happy always happy? So when you sort of change that perspective and live in a higher dimension, which you can't physically define, but you can feel at an energetic level.
Right.
I think in a 4-dimensional level, which is a lower dimension, you're always happier. And then you always say there is another day, there is a better day, and you move ahead with it. And I'm grateful for this day.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually how I've also started, trying to live my life. You just look for peace.
Right.
It's like exactly what you were saying. Earlier, how I would define or what I'd look for things, I'd look for happiness. But, happiness comes with an aspect of sadness. It's an emotion. So now what I tried doing is that I look for peace. And then all of a sudden your baseline of happiness just increases over time because that is your baseline of peace. And that's exactly what, you've been talking about. So that's definitely something I completely agree with in terms of looking
Yeah.
for peace and mindfulness and mental well-being.
Yeah, and when you look for peace, you cut out the surround sound.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cut out the rat race. You're just at ease with yourself. And I think if you're at ease with yourself, you can do so much better, even contribute to society, but if
Right.
you're at ease with yourself. Because then you're suddenly not afraid of the consequences.
Yeah.
And then if you're at ease with yourself, I think you think about karma, even if you don't consciously think about it.
Yeah.
Because you're at ease with yourself, you think about consequences. And I think that just makes you a better human being.
Right, right. And as you said, cutting out the noise is such an important part. And the fact that you can do it because
Yeah.
you've got so much noise, and I mean that in a completely respectful way.
I do have a lot of noise around me. And I do believe now that it doesn't matter to me, even if on say, for example, on television, on live television, somebody insults me.
Right.
I am at a stage where I don't want to retaliate. I know I'm doing 5 hours of TV a day.
Yeah.
I know I'm doing a podcast. I don't need to retaliate.
Yeah.
It is your opinion of me, and you're welcome to it. I am very clear that I don't want to indulge in what I think
Exactly.
is I feel going down. There's a beautiful quote by Michelle Obama that when they go down, you go up.
Right.
So I just think I want to be above it.
Okay.
Now that's not coming from a place of superiority.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's a paradox. I just want to avoid this. I want to do this.
It's coming from a place of peace.
Peace. Yeah, I don't want to take this path. I will
Right.
take this path.
Right.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But again, there's a paradox because life is paradox.
Yes. Yeah.
I firmly believe, and this is something my dad used to say, I am a warrior in a garden, not a gardener at war.
Okay.
So if I am pushed, I will retaliate.
Right.
But that retaliation is only if I'm pushed to an extent where there's an existential crisis. So I'm not at peace where I will run away. There's no cowardness, but I'm a warrior in a garden. And therefore, the boundaries are also maintained.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will hit back. So there's also that aspect.
Well, that's a lovely analogy.
Yeah, I do believe I'm a warrior in a garden, then a gardener. And I'm very happy being in the garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go to war. But I won't be afraid to go to war.
Right, right. And you have a beautiful garden, because the other aspect now that I wanted to start touching upon with you is that you've become a lovely father.
Yeah.
And how has that experience been? Because I mean, as I said, you've got so many things on your plate, but I'm assuming that being dad is probably number one or number two, along with being a husband.
Fatherhood is the most important, by far.
Yeah. How has it changed your perspective? Has it changed your perspective in life and wellness?
Completely.
Yeah.
I want to live longer. I want to live healthier for Zirwan.
Absolutely.
Zirwan was born at Jangir.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I
that's
remember that.
true.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I was born at Jangir. Zirwan was born at Jangir. And I was very clear that Zirwan would be born at Jangir. And I called you up.
Yeah,
I remember.
absolutely.
I called your dad.
Yeah.
And was like, And, we just trust Jangir. Now, the thing is, the moment Zirwan was born, and I don't know if you can say this on a podcast, we had everything from the OT to everything Jangir, everything decorated. So
Well, we did that for you, but we do that for a lot of people. We do that for everyone because we want everyone to feel like it's home for them.
it's home, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had all of that, and I was in that OT. And the moment he came out,
Right.
and I held him, I knew this was life I created
Yeah.
through the universe, through whatever means, but it was life I created.
I can imagine.
And that changed my perspective completely in life. And at today, I want to try and be a better human being for him. I don't want to teach Zurwan. I've been telling a lot of people this. I don't want to teach him. He doesn't need to know the capitals of countries. He doesn't need to know.
Yeah.
AI will teach him all of that. I want to teach him to be a better human being. I want to teach him humanity. I want to teach him physics. I want to teach him better things in life.
Yeah.
I want to teach him to be kind, to be gentle, to share. I want to teach him these values. Whether he knows what is the capital of a country.
You can look that up on Google now.
Yeah, on AI.
Okay, yeah, let AI do that for you.
Yeah, and in the next 5 years, the watch he'll wear, the minute he'll think something, it'll reflect on his watch,
Yeah.
the answer. I would rather teach him how to be a kinder human being.
Absolutely.
How to share, how to give, how to be empathetic.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to give him. I don't want him to be in a rat race. Maybe again that comes from a place of privilege. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. But I do think that in a world that is fast changing and transforming technologically, you will have access to a lot more information. Can I teach him humanity? Because again, there's a paradox.
Right.
The more electronics we have, the more we're connected to people electronically, the more lonely
Disconnected
we're
we're getting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a paradox. And I don't want him to be disconnected.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm trying to, that's what I want to do with him. Can he be a better human being, a kinder human being, somebody who shares, somebody who's empathetic, who picks up the phone for other people?
Yeah.
That's what I want to teach him.
And also getting him to stay fit from a young age.
From a young age. He's a total boy, if you can say that. So every pipe he wants to climb, every snake he wants to catch,
You have to get him active.
And that does not mean girls don't do that. We are not being sexist here.
Yeah,
Let's be very clear. Girls can also do that. He's just a boy. That's all I'm saying. And girls can also do it. Please go catch the snakes. And I think girls are much better than boys. But we don't want controversy.
No,
So
of course,
why can't a
of course.
girl catch a snake?
Yeah, absolutely
So,
right.
Yeah, but he's just a typical outdoor kid.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
He loves the sun. He loves animals. He loves reptiles. He loves pipes.
Yep. Starting on wellness early, moving well, eating well,
Yeah.
living well, and that's testimony to both your wife and you to have that kind of outlook for him.
No screen
and
time.
wellness, absolutely.
No screen time for him.
So I think he's going to be one great creator.
Yeah, I think that is testimony to his mother.
Yeah.
The no screen time. So she does take good. She's a very devoted mother, and that I have to give her credit for.
Yeah.
She's raised him well. Obviously, the father, my interaction with him is lesser because also I travel.
Right.
But I try and give him these.
Understood. Yeah. But Tehseen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, I know I wanted you here to talk about fitness and your physique and how that journey has been for you, and we've got a lot of insight on that. For your one meal a day and what you've cut out and your willpower to do that. But actually, what's really left me, moved from today's discussion has really been one word, and that's gratitude.
Yeah.
How that just radiates out from you, and you can feel it in this room now. It radiates out to your boy, and to your family and to everyone that you interact with. So I mean, that's really something that's left an imprint in me. That if everyone can do that as a sort of starting point of their wellness, we're all going to be in a very good place.
I do believe that, and if you guys want to take away something, just follow gratitude.
Absolutely.
The more you live in gratitude, the happier you will be. You suddenly realize you have things other people don't have.
Absolutely.
I think there's that famous story before we end. The guy was complaining in church that he doesn't have shoes until he saw a man who didn't have feet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovely.
so, yeah.
Well, lovely. Thank you so much
Thank you,
again,
guys.
Tehseen.
Thank you, and my love to the family and to the Jangi family as well.
Absolutely. And to you, and love to wellness and everything that you do as well. We need more people like you for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and we will see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode.